Hello, my lovelies, and welcome back to my channel. So this was supposed to be my weekly collaboration video, but it turned into a step-by-step tutorial on how to do dip nails. Now, I thought it was pertinent to actually show you how I do this because a lot of women are at home now and are unable to go to the nail salon to get their nails done and are maybe freaking out on how their nails are looking. So please stay tuned to how I get these done, and then you can look at part 2 on how I do my nail art. So I start off by cleansing my nail beds with isopropyl alcohol. It really does help to give me a nice clean base. And I have previously cleaned off the excess cuticle that was on top of my nail bed because that can cause lifting. So the first step to this is to put your dip base. I'm using a French product that has been working really well for me, but you can use anything. Then I'm going to be using this powder. Now it's a normal acrylic powder that I added acrylic with glitter. And then I'll be using this crystal clay powder to seal everything up. Now it's really important to brush on a little bit of product. You don't want to flood your cuticles. You want to be very careful with the application. It's just like putting on nail polish, except that you need to be really quick because this glue will dry on your nail and it will not pick up the powder. And I have found that normal acrylic powder actually works for me. I don't know if this is the case for you guys, but if you don't have the actual dip set, you can probably just finagle your own DIY project and do your own nails with what you've got. So here I use the, I don't know if it's a method, I just dump the powder on the nail, and I prefer this method because it's more uniform. Whenever I put my nails inside of the powder itself, I find that the nail becomes way too bulky. And here I'm just showing you I'm doing the same thing. Thin, even layers so that the nail will be less bulky and less uneven when you want to do the filing process at the end. So here I can already tell, and at the point when I was doing it, I could also tell that there are some areas where the nail glue actually dried before the powder actually stuck to it, so the nails were uneven. But then the second go around, I'm able to really target these areas and get some more powder. The most important thing at this point is to let the powder settle and let the first layer dry.
A few moments later.
So now that that's dry, I'm getting my fan brush. You can get any kind of brush that's gentle because it's dry, but it's not completely dry. If you use some weird hairbrush or whatever and you brush too hard, you can lift up the product at this stage. So just be gentle, get the excess off, and you can do the second step, which is doing it all over again. So here I'm being really careful to get into my cuticle areas without touching the skin, of course, but I want everything to look very homogeneous. Okay, and just doing the second nail, the same thing, focusing on the areas where I missed. This is very soothing, watching it back actually.
A few moments later.
All right, so now that my second base, color base, I would say, is done, I'm just gonna seal everything off with a clear powder. This is important because then when I come to, file down the nail, I will be filing off very little color, hopefully. And before you come at me, this powder, I actually upcycled it. I put it back into the colored acrylic because the paper had colored acrylic. Anyways, not important. The thing is, the nails are done. I'm really happy with this right now. So we're moving on to step 2, which is activating the powder. Now, funny thing is, my actual activator dried up, so I didn't have any. And I was like, oh my God, how am I going to do this? And then I was like, but if I'm using acrylic powder in the very first place, why can't I just use monomer? So I put some monomer in the bottle, brushed that on, and guess what? It worked just fine for the other hand. So I was like, well, I'm not gonna go buy another product, a second base, another kit. I'm just gonna be using my monomer from now on and brush it on, and it works just fine for this powder. So do what works for you. Um, in this case, turned out just fine. Sometimes I wonder if they just create kits just to make us spend our money. So I'm just gonna let that dry again for 2 to 3 minutes. When it's gonna be dry, um, it won't be as blush pink. It'll be kind of more like peachy, and it's gonna sound like that, like dry acrylic. Whereas now there's a dull thud. You want that, not that. Okay, so I'm back. Um, as you can see, this does need some filing because here, some of the glue actually sipped past the nail and it's kind of bumpy. So I do need to, buff it out a little bit. So let's do that. What I like to do is just pass my hand on the nail, see if I feel anything, because sometimes my eyes don't see all of it. I also turn it to the side, see if I see any bumps. I don't. It looks nice and straight. It looks like an actual nail. Um, I move it around and see if anything's wrong, and looks pretty good. So I'm gonna do this nail now. This is a way to get some beautiful nails, and it's probably cheaper because you already have some stuff at home, maybe, and or it's easy to get from your local supermarket. I don't know. I'm not from America, so I would not be able to tell you. I'm sorry. I normally get my stuff from France or online from AliExpress, but since all this started, I have not used AliExpress at all. But hey, let me know if this helped you at all in any way. And please stay tuned for the next video. It will be linked up here where I'll be showing you how I, do some nail art to bling up these plain nude nails. Okay? So thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe and stay tuned for the next one.